Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to make the video that we probably should have made first. But we're going to be making the super soil we use in our raised boxes, and we want y'all to come along and see not how to do it, but how we do it. Alright guys, we're going to get out here and get this soil put together. Now I want to tell you up front, this soil is not organic. It is not terrible, but it is not organic. We tried to stay either inert or as all natural as possible, but we still have to grow food. So we'll try to keep it to a minimum. If you guys see some places, like we're going to add some potting soil and stuff where you could substitute in some organic soil or something compost of your own mixing, then by all means do that. If you're going to try to replicate it and you have a better way that you want to do it, then please do that. And if you have suggestions that other people can use, then leave those down in the comment and tell them where they could substitute things in and where you might change the recipe. But I want to show you how we do it, and you've seen our results. We'll just stand behind our results, and we won't worry too much about what other folks do or how they grow their stuff. This is how we grow our stuff, and that's just the long and short of it. So we got a lot of footage, and we're just going to jump right into it. That way we don't take a whole lot of time jawing here. So let's get right to the footage and see how to make the super soil for your raised boxes. All right guys, starting out, here's our basic setup. We've got a couple of old tarps and we've spread them out here on the ground. And we're right here next to the raised bed garden, so we won't have to go far with the soil. But this is where we're going to start out, and this will be our work area. All right, guys, one of the first things we're going to do is start by building the soil structure. And we need something that's kind of inert, kind of neutral, and won't break down. So we need something for everything else to cling on to and to help give the soil body. So we're going to start with the large bale of peat bale. All right, we're going to talk about structure, and we're going to talk about some of the fillers and stuff that go in the soil. But when we're building structure, we need something for all of the good stuff to fill in with and mix with. And then the filler, I want you to see some of this. This wood and stuff like this, we did not put in here. These are a byproduct of the garden soils and stuff that we've mixed in there, but we didn't put any of that in there. All of that extra additive stuff, and we'll show you some of that, is all just going to break down, and there's really nothing to it, and it'll continue to break down. But if we dig down here in this soil and look down in here, what you have left over, this good moist material here, the body of the soil, that's the peat moss. And that stuff's been in there for over a year now. It's not broken down that much. It gives the body, gives the soil a real good body, helps it hold up. But all the other stuff that we're going to add is going to stick to this and be additives, but the body of our soil is going to be that peat moss. All right, guys, we've got the peat moss opened up and spread out here on the tarps. And the next thing we're going to need, the peat moss to give the soil body. And the next thing we're going to need is for that soil to drain. And we want it to drain so that it doesn't sog up. And it also allows oxygen to get down to the roots of the plants. So what we're going to use is these 3 bags of perlite, and they are 8 quarts each. So we are using 24 quarts of perlite to a bale of peat moss, and we'll go ahead and get those broke open. It's another inert material. Right now we're just building soil structure. All right, guys, we've got our inert materials down here in the bottom. And we're going to step up just a little bit, and we're going to add some of this black cow, and this is 2 large bags. Each one of them is 1 cubic foot, and we're not moving up far from inert. What I want you to see is black cow is only 0.5, 0.5, 0.5, and that is pretty inert. There's almost no value to it at all. But what we're after is the fact that they mix this stuff at about half sand. And we want that sand for the boxes to continue to allow for drainage, just like the perlite. Now the perlite allows oxygen, but the sand allows water to drain too. Now I know we're outside of the organic world with this, but we will say it's all natural, it's composted, and it's great for raised beds, which is where we're putting it. So, but right now with the black cow, we're mostly after the sand. Okay guys, we've got the black cow added to the pile now, and I got to thinking, I'm sure when I mentioned that I was using black cow for sand, that might have thrown some of you off. But if you've never thought of, a lot of people like black cow, and they think of it as composted cow manure, and I could probably, you know, be fair and say it does have composted manure in it. But when I say I use it for sand, if you've never taken a good long look at black cow, I'm going to try to get in here. And I want you to see that that material is mostly sand. That's straight black cow right out of the bag. But when I say I'm using it for the sand, for the drainage, I want you to see those sand grains in it so you don't think I'm crazy. But we'll go ahead and move on with the video now. But I didn't want to throw anybody off saying I was using composted cow manure for its sand content. All right guys, next up on the pile is what I consider to be junk filler. But it doesn't really have any. It says it'll feed for 9 months. Let's see, right there. Feeds for 9 months. And we're not going to worry about that. What we want out of this is the wood content I showed you earlier in that other clip. It's full of sticks and wood and everything else. And that, in combination with the black cow we've got on the pile already, will help form humus in the soil. Now, humus can take hundreds of years to form, but don't hurt to get started now. But we need that wood content, and we just kind of want all the other fillers. This stuff is about 99% filler. So we want all the other fillers and not what they're really trying to sell it to us for. Now I'm going to tell you, I spent $2 extra just to show you guys something. But this bag here is 2.2 cubic feet. That bag there cost $11. This is the exact same stuff. I know the packaging is lighter, but here we go. Blah, 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 brand name, flower vegetable garden soil. Flower and vegetable garden soil, same blah, blah, blah name. But it's the same stuff. This is 1 cubic foot. I bought these 3 bags, 3 cubic feet for $9. So you can get the same stuff, 2.2 cubic feet for $11, or 3 cubic feet for $9. But it's the same stuff. We're going to go ahead and get it on the pile, but we're just going to consider it balanced, just like we did the black cow. I don't know what its actual nutritional value is, and I don't care. I want the filler, and I want the wood, and I just want the bulk that's in it. We'll worry about building garden soil here in a second, nutritional wise. Okay guys, we've got that potting soil added to the pile here, and when I talk about not really caring about it in terms of it being potting soil and being after the fillers that are in it, let me explain that a little better. You guys saw this, you saw this woody material. Let me show you some of this. You saw this woody material over there in the other planter box when I dug up the peat moss. But if you can see down in there, that's all full of wood fiber and stuff. This stuff it wouldn't qualify as soil in any means other than it's organic material beginning to break down. But it isn't even really all that well broke down. So, but we do want the wood to break up the soil structure and help keep it loose. And here's some other stuff in here too. You can see this perlite mixed down through here. And another trick that they use so that it looks nice and dark and rich is they add charcoal to it. Now that's fine, but in terms of a gardener, I'm not fooled. I don't think it's any richer because it looks black. But in terms of gardening, I don't mind the charcoal because in my mind that's biochar. They've charred material to get that charcoal, and it's also a source of carbon in the soil. So I'll take the carbon and the biochar. I won't necessarily buy the stories, but I will take it for what it's worth. So if you see me dumping potting soil on here and saying, oh, he's cheating and he's just using potting soil, well, I am, but the devil's in the details, and I just want the stuff that's in it. I want those additives, and I want to be able to break those down, mix those with the manure, and have this organic material breaking down over time is worth more to me than the little pissy little baubles of fertilizer like that yellow one there in the center. Those pissy little baubles of fertilizer they put in there, they say feeds for 9 months. These organic materials breaking down in combination with our other stuff over time, that'll have more value than the 9 months they claim it has. Okay guys, next up on the docket, we've got a pile here of fairly inert material and stuff, but we got a couple things we're going to add here. The first one is we're going to throw in 2 cups of sodium polyacrylate. But sodium polyacrylate is what people commonly refer to as diaper crystals. 2 cups will bind up approximately 20 gallons of water, and we're going to put this over 4 beds. So that should be, on a watering, that should be able to hold about 5 gallons worth of water up in the soil. And I know some of our astute watchers are going to say, Mark, that breaks down in the soil and causes different stuff to get into the soil. Well, I can tell you that sodium is just a natural basis of salt, and polyacrylate, for the chemists in you guys, that breaks down into 3 different acids. All 3 of them are pretty much non-harmful. But in the chemistry world, and it won't hurt our little experiment here either, but in the chemistry world, the easiest way to get rid of an acid or take care of an acid is to neutralize it. You neutralize that with an alkaline substance. An alkaline substance that's good for our soil anyway is pelleted lime. Pelleted lime will help make the soil more alkaline, and our peat moss down there is a little acidic too, so it won't hurt to raise the pH just a hair. But should those crystals begin to break down and release any of those acids into the soil over time, which takes a few years, but should they do that, then we'll have a lime there in the soil to help neutralize it, and it won't have any overall effect on the plants. At that point, we'll probably add a little bit of both back to the soil again. But those are our next 2 additives. Alright guys, as you can see, our pile of basically filler has grown to, let's say, 5 foot in length, 4 foot front to back, and let's say about 18 inches deep or so. But now we got to bring this pile to life, and that's where the devil's in the details. So let's we'll get into it here real quick. But the first thing we got here is about 3 cups of oyster shell, and that's going to be our source of calcium. And I don't like it crushed up. It lasts longer in the soil if you just leave it the way it is like that. So we're going to need calcium. We're going to need phosphorus. One of the best sources of phosphorus I know is bone meal. And we got these 2 bags, 2 3-pound bags of bone meal we're going to use. And now, one thing is that plants can't make use of calcium or phosphorus without magnesium. And magnesium, it helps the plants metabolize those 2. But magnesium, best source I know is Epsom salt. And we're going to use, I believe, 2 cups of Epsom salt for this pile. But that magnesium, without it, the calcium and the phosphorus are pretty much useless. So we'll go ahead and we've got that taken care of. The next thing we're going to need is a source of nitrogen. And for that, we want to continue on not burning our plants. So we're going to use bone meal as our source of nitrogen. Now, one thing in this pile, you'll notice is I've got 2 bags of phosphorus for every bag of nitrogen, in a 2-to-1 ratio. And anything that sets a fruit, like green beans or tomatoes or anything else, you need to have 2 times the phosphorus that you do the nitrogen. And a lot of people, they'll buy a mix of bone meal and blood meal together, and that's 1-to-1. And what happens is when you get too much nitrogen in the soil, you grow a really pretty plant, but it don't set fruit. And that takes phosphorus. And if you look at some other products like Super Bloom, they sell a product called Super Bloom, it is almost straight phosphorus. But you need more phosphorus than you have nitrogen in the soil, or you just end up growing pretty plants that don't produce much. But so we're going to go 2-to-1 on the phosphorus to nitrogen. We're going to add calcium to the soil for structure in the fruits and stuff that they produce. We're going to add magnesium so that the plants can utilize the calcium. And the last thing we're going to talk on over here is borax. And I talked on that just a little bit in one of our other videos. But what a lot of people don't know is plants can't use any of this mess without boron. And boron is just an element in the soil, but borax is made from it. Now, it's a trace mineral in the soil, and some people have a miscomprehension of what trace material means. But trace, by trace, that means a very small trace. And for this entire stack of dirt, we're going to use, I got the hoary up here. That little bit right there on the tip of the hoary is far more than enough boron for this entire pile. But the problem is that little tiny bit is what's going to activate this entire pile and make all of these other nutrients available to the plants. And they'll be able to better metabolize them. You'll see stronger growth out of your plants and bigger yields and bigger squash, bigger tomatoes. But you got to have that boron in there. And why we've got to add boron is that boron is contained in vegetable matter. And as plants break down, plants like broccoli and stuff have a lot of boron in them. And as they break down, they add that stuff to the soil. But in our soil mix here, we don't have any of that. We don't have anywhere. We have some organic material in terms of wood and stuff breaking down, but the peat has already broken down in the bogs. The wood isn't going to offer us much in terms of boron, so all we really have to go on is what we put in ourselves. But I'm going to say it once again so nobody burns up a plant and comes and leaves me a nasty note. That little tip on the edge of the hoary, that little tiny pile, is all the boron that this entire pile of dirt needs. So we're going to add this to it, and that's what will bring this pile to life. We'll get it stirred, and then we'll get it added onto the boxes, and we'll come back and talk to you a little bit then. All right, guys, just a quick shot. I know we've got some new gardeners in the group. If you haven't seen this stuff before, I'm sorry, I should have got some of it out of the bag so you guys could see it. But this light material here, this is your bone meal. It's just a real light, fluffy, just a powder. Has a real distinct smell, but that's what you can expect coming out of a bone meal bag. Now let's see, this darker material here, try not to stir it up too bad, but that darker material there, that's your blood meal. The blood meal is distinctly darker than the bone meal, but that's it. And then over here to the right, we got a pile of Epsom salt. I'm sure you probably know what Epsom salt looks like. But just so you got an idea, if you haven't seen them before, and there's people out there that just haven't seen this stuff. But that's bone meal. The dark down in there, that's blood meal. And there's your Epsom salt. Okay guys, Tina's starting to stir the pile here. We're stirring by hand to try to avoid tearing up the tarps and stuff any worse than they already are. But they're old tarps, we're not too worried about it. But I wanted you to see the distinct color difference as she's pulling the peat moss up and stuff from the bottom here on the right hand side, versus it was pretty dark over here until I dumped powder all over it, but it was pretty dark over there. But this soil, when it's all mixed up, is going to lighten up quite a bit. And I don't want you to think because it's not dark, it's not rich. You'd be hard pressed to find soil much richer than this when we're done mixing it. But we'll go ahead and continue mixing. I just wanted to show you how it's going to change color on you when you go to mix it, and kind of what the final product will look like. I'll come back when it's all mixed and we'll give you a look before we throw it on the beds. Alright guys, if you wonder why Tina's stirring the dirt, if you guys don't think that Tina enjoys playing in the dirt, then you sadly do not know Tina. Because there is nothing she would rather do. She has sat and watched me pile up this dirt with envy in her eyes. But if you think she's working or working hard, then I'd just like to pan around here and catch this smile on her face, because she is doing nothing but giggling and laughing and playing in the dirt, which is what she dearly loves. Alright guys, let's take one close-up look at this dirt real quick here before we move it over to the boxes. But it's pretty well mixed up now. You can kind of see the proportion of perlite through the soil, the lighter browns in there. You can see that's the peat moss mixed up through here. There's some good up there, but you can see the peat moss mixed up through there. There's some fine grain. We get in here and see the fine grain. There's sand all through it. It should drain well. It looks like potting soil. In fact, we've noticed a couple people that mentioned our channel and that we might be growing in potting soil. I want you to see we make our own soil, so not a big deal. We don't worry too much about what other folks say. But we've got our own soil mix, and if it resembles potting soil, then more credit to the potting soil companies. But they can't make this. This has the right nutrients and the right proportions, the right electrolytes, the right consistency. And let me pan over here real quick. I'll just answer all of this really quick. We'll just stand by the results. That's the easiest way I know when people start comparing channels, or they start comparing soils, or they have other ideas. We don't mind. Everybody does it differently, and you got to do it according to your area and your growing stuff. But we also, we don't have any problem standing by the things we do and the results that we have. So that's our potting mix. We're going to move this over to the boxes, and I'll get right back with you. Okay, guys, we're going to start down through here and take a look at these beds, but we've got the 4 center boxes filled. That was the plan. The pile of dirt had about 6 5-gallon buckets for each box. We were able to top them off pretty well. They're almost full. But and take a look at that good soil. We'll walk down through here. But all the boxes are looking pretty good. We're excited. We're getting ready to fall planting these, and that's part of our financial discussion. But just wanted to show you we got them all topped off. They look really good. We're really happy with them. But we put the dirt up on the surface of the ground. We don't mix it down in. The nutrients and stuff that we took the time to put into this soil are going to steadily make their way into the ground with rain and everything else, and they'll eventually get too deep for the roots. We don't want to give them any help with that. We want the nutrients up towards the top for right now. There's that receipt. We'll talk about that in a second. But we want these nutrients to stay high in the soil right now, and we're getting ready for fall planting. And they will eventually rinse down through and enrich the soil underneath them. But for right now, we want to keep it right on top. So let's get back to that receipt, and we'll have a little discussion about financing. All right, guys, we're going to break down this receipt just a little bit. But we went to one of the box stores, but thankfully they're really nice. They give us this right here. They give us a 10% military discount, so we're thankful for that. They give it to Tina and I both for our service. So we'll go down through here. We got the blood meal, bone meal, perlite, the composted cow manure, the growing soil, the peat moss, the other garden soil. But we ended up for a total of let's see, $76.83, and that's after our $7.30 military discount. So we'll go for a total of $83.83, adding the discount back in. So $83.83. Okay, sorry that cut out on us, but what we're going to do is we're going to use the figure of $80. We had plenty of stuff left over, that whole box of borax and a whole bag of oyster shell calcium and stuff like that. So we're just going to use $80. And you say, $80, Mark, that might be expensive just to spruce up 4 boxes. And we'll do that about once a year. But it might be expensive since we have, in total, let's swing around here, there are 20 boxes to our raised bed garden. So we only did 4, so you multiply that times 4, and that would be $400. And I'm going to tell you that $400, when our kids were here, $400 was 2 $200 grocery trips, and it really didn't amount to that much. But if you don't think that out of this whole raised bed garden we can find 2 $200 grocery trips, let's just we'll take a quick tally here. We're starting around and we're going to work counterclockwise. That box there you've already seen Tina pull beets out of, and it's growing a second crop of squash right now. This box here, or these two boxes, we'll go on down these two boxes. These two boxes here will provide us with enough green beans to last us for a year, and we've already grown some over in the other garden, but when these are done, we still have time to grow a whole nother load of green beans in these two boxes. Come down here, we come to this box. You've already seen us pick snow peas out of this box, and right now it's planted in collards. So we'll get a crop of collards off of those, and you've seen us grow snow peas in there. Skip over the entranceway here to these squash, and you've seen us grow green peppers in this box. The green peppers were done early, so we went ahead and put squash back in this box, but we've taken bell peppers and squash out of these. We'll come to this this long box here. It's a 3-section box. This is the box you saw us pull hardneck garlic out of. We took a whole load of hardneck garlic out of here, a bunch of them. And as you can see, it's been completely replanted in squash. But this is the box. This box is laying just barren right now. We're going to use it for fall planting. But this is the box that you saw us pull onion after onion out of in our onion harvesting video. But we're going to say that the cantaloupe are about spent. The honeydew melons are about spent. But that's 2 boxes of food. We enjoyed them. All right. This box here, what do we have in this box, T? This box here, huh? Oh, these are our spring broccoli. Yeah. You already watched us pull. Let's see, we plant 9 to a section. There's 27 to a box, and there's 2 boxes here. So we pulled 54 broccoli out of here, and now we've turned around and planted them in beets. And we're going to pull a boatload of beets out of these 2 boxes. So these 2 boxes here produce 54 heads of broccoli, and are going to produce a whole mess of beets now too. This box of peppers here has done real well for us. We're still waiting on this crop of dill up here. You see the dill growing, but we've done real well picking peppers off of these. Pick cucumbers off these trellises here. We've got the trellises, most of them planted in cucumbers. There's some more pepper plants that we did well off of. But these here, you remember what was in this box? Yep. These are a yellow-eyed pea growing here right now. But we grew Brussels sprouts in this box earlier this year, and our leftover broccoli and cabbage. So we pulled half a dozen broccoli, half a dozen cabbage, and probably a dozen Brussels sprout plants out of here earlier this year. Move on down here, and these are some goblin's eggs gourds we got going on here. But we'll get some nice gourds out of there. We'll work our way through the pumpkin patch, or not the pumpkin, the watermelon patch. We throw those in for Houston all the time. We've probably picked a dozen watermelon out of here so far, and these here are about done. The plants are about spent, but you can still see there's more watermelon hidden in there. But we're going to go ahead. Figure we pulled 18. We'll pull 18 watermelon out of here before it's done, and they're actually over there in the weeds too. But and this box here is laying fallow. So we haven't put anything back in yet, but we pulled squash. This was another box that had the big box full of squash. You probably saw Tina hiding behind them and stuff, but this box here was full of squash. But we'll look back down through there and we'll just kind of scan. But I would defy anyone to say that we haven't pulled 2 small grocery trips, 2 $200 grocery trips out of these boxes, and they are far from done for this year. So that's how I break the cost down. We spend our grocery money to do our gardening, but we also get our money back out of them. So we've already, like I said, these 4 boxes here have already produced 2 crops of squash. They're about to produce, let's see, 18 to a box times 4, 72. They're about to produce 72 more heads of broccoli for, what did we say, $80. So you couldn't even buy the broccoli for what we spent to dress the box up. So anyway, that's how the cost breakdown on it. I'll be right back with you, and we'll talk some, and I'll let you go. All right, guys, we hope you enjoyed that. Tina and I had a lot of fun. She's been playing in the dirt, and we got 4 boxes that are all spruced up and ready to go for fall planting in the process. So like I said, this isn't the cheapest way that you could put together your soil. It's certainly not the most organic. You guys probably have a lot of great ideas. I count on you guys sharing those ideas down there in the comments. But if you like the video and you found the information useful, please hit that thumbs up button. You know, that gives us a little nudge of approval, and it tells YouTube to show our videos to more people. And if you have questions or comments, please leave them down below. Tell us what you would do differently. Tell us what you'd do the same. If you liked it, let us know that. And if you hated it, let us know that too. That's okay. We're going to learn through your guys' comments, and we're going to take this channel in the direction you guys want it to go. So if you have suggestions or you have things you want to see on video, let us know. Put them down there in those comments, and we read them all. We do our best to respond to each and every comment, and we follow up with your responses. So if you would, just leave us a comment down below. If you like the video, hit that thumbs up button. And if you like the content, please hit that subscribe button. We really appreciate that. You guys, we've got some loyal fans and some loyal viewers. And if you guys read through their comments down there that they've left on some of the other videos, you'll find content better than you'd find in most gardening books. So we're real proud of the people that follow the channel. We've got some new people too, and they are just learning as quick as they can. And we're all just going to speed through this together, and wherever we take it, then we'll let you guys decide. So if you would, hit that subscribe button, become part of the process. And if you would, there's a little bell down there next to the subscribe button. Hit that little bell. That'll send you a notification whenever we release new videos, and you'll know to come back and check out whatever we've done that day. But we sure appreciate it. Glad to have you guys here at the channel, and we'll catch you in the next one.